terms, Mr. Sowerberry, liberal terms. £5.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was dating a boy.
Then it is settled. £5, please.
If you don't mind, cash upon liking, Mr. Bumble, cash upon liking. Mrs. Sowerberry,
What is it?
would you have the goodness to come here a moment, my dear?
Well, what do you want?
I have told Mr. Bumble
Oh, hello, Mr. Bumble.
Hello, Mrs. Sowerberry.
that we may consider taking in this boy to help in the shop.
Dear me, he's very small.
Yes, he is rather small. There's no use hiding that fact. But he'll grow, Mrs. Sowerberry. He'll grow.
I dare say he will. And our victuals and our drink. They're a waste of time, these workhouse boys. They always cost more to keep than what they're worth. Still, you men always think you know the best. What are you going to do with him?
There's an expression of melancholy on his face, my dear, which is very interesting. He can make a delightful coffin follower.
A what?
I don't mean a regular coffin follower for following grown-ups, but for children's practice. It would be very nice to have a follower in proportion, my sweet. A superb effect the more I think about it.
For once, Henry. Just for once. You might have a decent idea. Very well then, boy. What's your name?
Oliver Twist, ma'am.
A singular name.
Yes, and one of mine own to choose.
Yours, Mr. Bumble?
Mine, Mrs. Sowerberry.
How's that, Mr. Bumble?
The boy's mother came close to destitute, brought this child. The well-known promptly died without so much as a forwarding name or address.
Dear, dear. Well, Oliver Twist, do you think you could look like that gentleman up there?
Maybe ever had black heart.
Never mind about black hats.
The boy's quite right. Give the boy a top hat, Henry. These things must be done proper and correct. Stand there, boy. The top hat, Henry. Henry, really, it takes you twice as long to do anything as anybody else. Yes, yeah. For once, Henry, you've had a good idea. Do you think you could keep that expression for a long time, boy? With a crow, should you?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
He's a born undertaker's mute. I can see him in a black silk suit, following behind the funeral procession, his features fixed in a suitable expression. Milking horses with tall black plumes to escort us to the family tombs, with mourners in all corners, been taught to weep in
dare say the boys are too dainty to eat them, aren't you, boy? Have you done?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad to hear it. Get to bed, Henry. Come on, Charlotte. Don't just stand there gawking. Now then, Oliver Twist, your bed's under the counter. You don't mind sleeping among carpets, I suppose. But it doesn't matter much whether you do or don't. You can't sleep nowhere else.